Hey guys, welcome back into the Stokastic YouTube channel. My name's Geoff Ulrich, and in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit of Monday Night Football for Week 11, closing out Week 11 here with the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. Got a big spread on tap. San Francisco currently around 8-point favorites. That's kind of where they've been sitting all week. We got injury news, big injury news to take care of here. Marquise Brown now looks like he's not going to play for the Arizona Cardinals. Then you got DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray questionable for the Cardinals. Last week, we saw Case Keenum play, so that's something to really take in mind when we're talking in this video for this game. And in this video, we're going to be talking no house advantage, guys. Specifically, we're going to talk about their pick'em contest. So a couple different ways to play over on no house advantage. You have their versus the house contest. That's where you're creating your own prop-based tickets. You can put in a couple, you can put in 5, get bigger payouts, smaller payouts, organize it however you like it. But then there's also the pick'em contest. It's a DFS style prop-based lineups that we're going to be creating. Going to assign different values to each position. You know, the higher end value, 10 to 7 points. And you've got some lower end values you got to fill out as well with only 2 to 1 points. You're going to put that lineup in a contest against a bunch of other people, play for some big prizes. And look, Noah's Advantage has been coming out big on all these primetime slates. 20K guaranteed tonight, 10K to first. Okay, there's been overlay on these contests, guys, so it's a great time to check it out. I'm telling you, the Monday Night Football especially, they've been coming through for it. So if you're new to the site, if you're new to Noah's Advantage, use promo code Stokastic for a $50 match deposit bonus there. Again, promo code Stokastic. If you're new to Noah's Advantage, it's going to give you a $50 match deposit bonus right off the top. Great. You can play an extra. You can throw in a couple extra lineups into the big contest tonight. Again, 10K to first. So we're going to dive into some strategy as well. So, you know, when we're going over the props for the no house advantage, especially for the contest, the pick'em contest, always a little bit of strategy involved. You don't necessarily just want to take all the chalky picks because then you're just going to be having duplicated lineups. And if one of those busts, you're toast. So always try and look for some leverage on the field. We have free projections over on Stokastic.com as well for Noah's Advantage. So check those out after you're done watching this video. Do me one favor, smash that like button if you could, subscribe to the Stokastic YouTube channel, and let's dive right into it here. Let's get into this interesting game because I do think that the San Francisco 49ers are deserving favorites, but for prop purposes, this injury stuff on the Cardinals, I think it's going to create some good opportunity as well. A couple players that I really like targeting here for the Cardinals. So we're going to talk about them right off the bat. Rondale Moore, a player I really like. He's come into his own last few games. 13 targets with Case Keenum in the last game. And realistically, Rondale Moore, only a 55.5 receiving yards total. Now, that's I think most people are going to look at that and say it's a little bit big. DeAndre Hopkins might still play tonight. You know what? Even if Hopkins is around, I like going over on this. I do. I like taking a little bit of a shot here. This is kind of just my pick going up against the projections a little bit. But what do we know from Rondale Moore? He's going to play a ton because they don't have that many healthy receivers. Again, it looks like Marquise Brown is not going to play tonight. That's good for Rondale Moore. He had 13 targets with Case Keenum. So I don't think it matters that much who the quarterback is in this game. And if you look at the San Francisco defense, last 4 weeks, no one has given up, the San Francisco 49ers has given up the second most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So I was going to say no one's given up more fantasy points to the wide receiver position over the last 4 weeks, but only one team has compared to San Francisco. They've been a real funnel to the pass kind of defense. It's a good setup for Moore. I think he goes over 55.5 receiving yards, and this is one of those ones I don't think it's going to be highly owned. So I like Rondale Moore a lot in the spot, like him as a player. Let's target the tight end position in Arizona as well because Trey McBride came in. Zach Ertz out for the season now. It's Trey McBride. He's the pass catcher there for the Cardinals. They don't use the tight end position that much, but he played over 90% of the snaps after Ertz went down. He saw a couple targets, caught a pass. I think Trey McBride at over 2.5 receptions. This is more of a projection play we're going with. The projections here do have him for over 2.5 receptions, and I like this one. Arizona has used the tight end position fairly regularly this year. McBride was a draft pick, a pass-catching tight end. I don't see him not getting 4 or 5 targets, I think, in this spot. I know he's not Zach Ertz, but again, looks like Marquise Brown out. We still don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is going to play. If he doesn't play, I definitely smash McBride over. But even if he does play, I think that at 2.5 receptions, Arizona's probably going to be down in this game because they're playing a really solid team in San Francisco. They can't really run the ball anyways, which I'm going to get to in a sec. And I think Trey McBride is just in a spot here where, you know, he's been brought in by the team. He's going to be put into a main pass catching role. He's probably going to play like 95% of the snaps. And we've got a really low prop. Let's go over 2.5 receptions for Trey McBride in this game. I think game flow alone probably going to get him there. Let's stick with the Cardinals because, again, I think that these injury situations are kind of unique, and I think there's some leverage here for DFS purposes, for our strategy purposes as well. James Conner, I know James Conner kind of has his backfield to himself right now, but one thing we did see, I know he played like a 90% snap rate in the last game, but Conner really just has not been what you call very productive. He's just not like an efficient runner. He needs like 25 carries to have big games, and maybe he'll get that, but you know what? He's going up against the rush defense in San Francisco. They're first in the league in yards per carry against. So they only allow about 3.4 yards per carry against. That's best in the NFL. This is a tough rush defense. Probably the toughest rush defense in the NFL. Now we're asking James Conner to go over 56.5. No, we're going to take the under here. I know Conner went over this in his last game against the Rams, but he needed 21 carries to do that. And there's also other factors that come in here. We could see like, Kute Ingram, potentially get a few more carries. The other backs could make an appearance. I know, Benjamin's out for whatever reason, but, there are backups. Ingram potentially going to come in, get a few more carries. I could definitely see that happen. I don't like the over on James Conner. And we have this projected as a fairly solid under as well. Once you're getting up to 56.5, I think Conner is well worth fading. That's a big number. And again, San Francisco, they don't allow many running backs to go over this number. So give me the under here on James Conner. He's probably going to need about 25 carries to go over. Okay, let's talk about San Francisco a little bit. I debated taking a couple overs here. I think Brandon Ayuk is in a really nice spot. If you wanted to add in an over on him, his prop's a little bit bigger than normal, but I don't mind the over on Ayuk. But the player that I really think you need to smash here, and this is a projection play. This is probably our strongest projected play of this slate. But it's Christian McCaffrey over 64.5 rushing yards. We have McCaffrey projected for well over this tonight. I think people look, and there's definitely a little bit of fear here, with Elijah Mitchell obviously getting involved now for San Francisco, being healthy. The snap count was obviously a little bit less weighted in favor of Christian McCaffrey last game. So that's a little bit scary. But you know what? This is still Christian McCaffrey. He's a very efficient runner. You've got a situation here where going up against the Cardinals, 8-point favorites. He only had 38 rush yards in the last game, but you know what? I mean, he had 94 the week before. I think it's going to even out here. I think this is a pretty solid over. And I'm not necessarily sure that the field is going to be as big on this prop as they should be. I think a lot of people will be looking at that Mitchell, getting carries and taking usage as very negative and maybe saying, I'm just going to leave Christian McCaffrey out. But I think this is a strong play. And this is one you put up high. I think McCaffrey is still obviously the guy they want to get touches. And look, if this game is close, McCaffrey's just going to be on the field more. If the game is put away, it probably means McCaffrey went for a couple big runs anyways. I think 64.5, it's a little bit of an overreaction to what we saw in the last game. So let's go over this. Again, definitely riding with the projections here. We like this one as a very solid over. One of our strongest plays probably for the slate. So let's do a quick recap here, guys. Obviously gave you 4 props for the contest to potentially build around. I really like targeting the Cardinals in this game. We got some injury news surrounding them. Obviously, I think their players are just a little bit easier to kind of predict. Rondale Moore over 55.5 receiving yards. Again, it's a big prop, but love the way he's been targeted of late. And it's a good matchup. Trey McBride over 2.5 receptions. He's going to be basically an every down role on an offense that has been targeting the tight end really consistently all year. You got James Conner under 56.5 rush yards going up against the toughest rush defense in the NFL. And we're going to go Christian McCaffrey as our lone 49er over 64.5 rushing yards. Again, this one's more of just a projection play. Free projections for No Advantage, by the way, over on Stokastic.com. So those are going to be our 4 plays. Thanks a lot for checking out this video. Again, smash that like button, subscribe to the Stokastic YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. If you're new to No Advantage, guys, use promo code Stokastic to sign up there. You get a $50 match deposit bonus right off the top. You can't do any better than that. Most importantly, have yourselves a great Monday Night Football. I'm Geoff Ulrich. We'll talk to you again soon.